Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. How is everyone doing? Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Um, Today we have quite a bit to get through, and then, of course, if anything else comes up in the social media streets whilst we are on live, um, I'm also conscious that this is the first time I'm back on live since last week. So I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend as well. If you guys did anything interesting, put it in the chat. Let's see what you guys did for the weekend. We're going to talk about Ralph. We're going to talk about Martell Holt. Yeah. I don't even know where to start from with Martell. I feel like I can't believe that we're still talking about Martell. Even though, like, the show is not currently on right now, they're on a break, but still there's just stuff to talk about when it comes to Martell. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. I know a lot of people were sort of feeling like part of the commentary about who Martell is, and Martell posting the kids, was all a bit intense. But seeing the way Martell is behaving, even after that, just shows that I was right all along. That man is unhinged, in my opinion, and he's not going to change. Okay? At least for now, unless something drastic happens. So, from what we know about Martell, he ain't changing unless something drastic happens. So, we are going to talk about Martell and Ralph because they teamed up, the team up we did not need. So we are going to talk about Ralph. We're going to talk a little bit about Miss Wanda as well. She went on live and she was saying some things which was giving the impression that she's, trying to move on from a lot of the things that she has said about Melody. So we will talk about that as well. Um we are going to talk about like some other bits as well. I'm just trying to go through the messages. We are also going to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac as well. Because I feel like there's definitely stuff we need to talk about in relation to Real Housewives of Potomac. Um yeah, so we are going to talk about all of those things, right? But yeah, just one thing I need from you is please hit that like button and share this live if you can so that other people can be able to join in as well. Let's start with Mr. Martell and Ralph. So Martell and Ralph decided to go live. I don't know whose idea that was, but they decided to team up and give us the content that we didn't even know we needed. Okay. So the bits that I think is just ridiculous to me, right? Well, a lot of things, the whole thing was ridiculous to me, but the bit that really caught me is they're literally out here hanging out, but yet they want to go live. I'm like, okay, cool. The next thing, and this is how you know the melodies are still playing in Martell's system. The melodies, if you know her song, you know what I'm talking about. The melodies are playing in Martell's system. Because why on earth is he still talking about his ex-wife? It's like ninja rest. How long has it been? It's been years now. Can we give it a rest? Can we move on to other things? Sir? What is going on? Why are you so pressed? Right? And so that's the big thing that I really can't stand when it comes to Martell and Ralph. Martell in particular. Because then they start arguing about, or start joking about like who's worse between Ralph and him. And it's like, okay, who's worse? Who cares who's worse? You're both nuts. How about that? Who cares who's worse? You both need to be in timeout. How about that? And so I just think it's very, very weird. The whole thing was just very, very weird. Ralph started like saying, Martell starts joking and then says, tells everyone to choose between he and Ralph, who is worse, Ralph starts talking about Martell is worse than him. Then people are, it's like, I'm just like, what? They're just clowns, really, because what is going on? Abdallah says, oh my God, both of these two are draining to see. They're both thirsty for their ex-wives, but Hotel more so than Ralph. I completely agree. And I feel like that's what we saw. Because it just looked like Martell kept talking about, oh yeah, he has the worst ex-wife. And I'm like, this is why sometimes I feel like when people talk about giving Martell grace, it's like, what grace? This man continues to act unhinged. This man continues to act like somebody who does not care, who does not respect his ex-wife, who is not even trying to co-parent. Because how is this beneficial to say this at this stage, at this critical stage where you're meant to be co-parenting? Yet you're using the opportunity to be talking about your ex-wife being horrible or someone being worse than your ex-wife. It's like you have the worst ex-wife. It's like, what are you doing, sir? And so it's like you're then saying, oh, Melody's worse ex-wife than Drew. And it's like, what are y'all doing? It's like both of you senseless. It's like if one person is going left, at least bring it back. Like, of course, it looks like Ralph was not really like, Ralph looked uncomfortable when he brought up the whole, ex-wife thing. But at the same time, it's like, Martell, use your common sense. And this is why it feels like you're not moving forward in life, because how can you move forward if every single opportunity that you get is dog Melody out? This is why you can't move on with your life. How can you move on if you're constantly dogging her out? There is no moving on for you. None whatsoever. And it's so sad because it just feels like after all these years, how many years is it really going to take? How many years is it going to take for you to decide, okay, maybe this ain't it. Maybe I need to move on. Maybe I need to try something else. It just feels like it's just continuous and it's so annoying. Ralph seems to be over the ex-wife talk and left Hotel looking like the fool that he is. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Hotel always has everyone seeing him on social media saying in turn, sir, are you okay? Nah, you're not. That's the thing. It's like when somebody wants to give him a little bit of grace, just a little bit of grace, you be trying to give him a little bit of grace. Luckily, I'm not one of those ones, but some people be trying to give him a little bit of grace, and Hotel takes it all the way left. It takes it back and reminds people why he is who he is and has no intentions of changing. So it's definitely very shocking that it's like right after the custody case, we all know what has happened with the custody case. Why are you then bringing it back to ex-wife again? Just let her be. If I could never be Arian, but if I was Arian, I would be so pissed off. Imagine dating a man that is obsessed with his ex-wife. Imagine you're dating a man that is obsessed, cannot let go of his ex-wife. I would be so concerned. Like, what are we doing? Are you still in love with her? Like, these are the questions I'll be asking because ain't no way. Ain't no way you are meant to still be dealing with a man who is obsessed. Every opportunity, your ex-wife this, your ex-wife that. If she was so bad, why do you keep talking about her? You should not even want to bring her name up or anything to do with her. At least not publicly. And so it just feels like Martell is obviously up to no good. If you think back to him posting the pictures of the children, I've always felt it was performative. I've always felt that he's just doing it for attention. He's doing it because he knows that people love the four-piece nuggets and he's trying to bring that back. I think that is all it is. So I'm not surprised that he goes on live to do and show us exactly who he is. I feel like what is more shocking is that people are shocked that this is still his behavior. And it's like he's shown us multiple times that this is who he is. It's like, what more do we need to see to know that this is who this man is? That is what he is on. That is who he is. That ain't gonna change. So it's like, when is enough going to be enough, right? So these are the things that I feel like need to be like fully addressed. That I don't think is usually fully addressed in some of these cases. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I always believe in giving people grace. But sometimes when you think about how much Martell has done and continues to do, I think that's the biggest point. Continues to do. There's no need for you to talk about the mother of your children like that. There's no need. You didn't need to bring it up. You could have left it. There's absolutely no need for you to have brought it up. Yet you did. And so it's things like that that make it hard for us to let things go and make it. And this is why we are always constantly talking about how unhinged he is, because it's so hard to move on from him being or coming across as unhinged because he continues to do unhinged ish. It's like that's what an unhinged person would do, because how long has it been, sir? Why are you stuck? ATP, I truly believe Hotel is stuck in 2020 and will never have peace because he has twisted his actions as warranted since he feels women should accept whatever a man does. Yes, I agree with you. I feel like he's definitely stuck in 2020. I feel like part of his problems is yes, he does not take accountability. And then he has now switched it in his mind, right? He has made himself believe that in his mind, he is allowed to do whatever. He has twisted it. Like, I've never met or encountered someone that is so quick to lie to themselves like that. And I think Hotel is like that. I think Hotel lies to himself so much that he believes what he is telling us. He believes what he is putting out. I think he truly has told himself the lie so much that now that's what rolls off his tongue. He doesn't even have to think about it. I think he just rolls off his tongue like that. And I think that's why anytime he talks about Mel, it's so disjointed. Like, okay, you were the one that had a baby outside of wedlock. Yet you then try to make it seem like, yeah, but it was under different circumstances. What different circumstances, sir? Or you try to make it seem like you try to minimize it and try to make it seem like she was stepping out. But it was like, if she was stepping out in season 1 when she brought up your infidelity, why didn't you say anything? So that ain't true, sir. At least that's what my perspective is. I feel like he knows fully well that's not true, but that's the narrative that he wants to tell, and that's the narrative he's going to push. And I feel like his narrative is based on not facts but fiction. Because if you remember, when I think it was a trip that I believe it was Nell, I think Nell and Chris's trip or something, where they went to Houston and they were all in the house and whatnot. And he talked about she cheated. And she said, so he said she cheated, and she's like, no, what are you talking about? And so then he phrases it as anytime she says that she wants to go and, do some self-care time, who knew what she was doing? So it's like you're assuming that she cheated. You have no proof that she cheated, but you're assuming because she wanted self-care time that she was out here cheating on you, because you knew that every time you were going to the gym, you were actually stepping out. So I definitely think like he has trained himself to read every single thing in a way that sounds like Melody's the bad guy. But honey, you're the bad guy. I don't know who needs to tell you, but you're the bad guy. And I feel like a lot of people around him are constantly bigging him up, including in the comment section, talking about him being an amazing dad, an amazing dude. Like, please stop lying. If you think about even Ralph on the live was talking about how Martell is such an amazing father, Martell is such an amazing dude. And you can just see Martell basically smiling. And it's just like you really you really love the image of being seen as a good dad, as a good father, as a good man. Even think about what his mom used to say. His mom would be like, "You're a good dude." Why is he a good dude? A good dude will not cheat on his wife. So why do you constantly refer to him as a good dude? A good dude has integrity. If he makes a mistake and cheats once, he's not going to continue to cheat and then have a baby, sir. That's not a good dude. That's a man with no integrity and no discipline. And so when people constantly say, oh, he's a good dude, he's a good father will not be whooping their kids like that. A good father will not be singling kids out. A good father will not decide that the kids can't be posted, then take it to court, and then not show up for the custody case. A good father will not do that. You put so much venom in the streets of social media, so much venom, only for you to not show up to the freaking hearing when it mattered. And you chose to go to work instead, right? Allegedly. So that's not what a good dude does. That's not what an amazing father does. An amazing father puts their children first. Okay? An amazing father, if you really truly believe that Melody wasn't all that and all of that, you would have showed up to the court to make sure the court understand what it is you're saying, right? But you didn't show up to court. So people need to miss me with the whole is an amazing father, is it this, is it that? No, that's not how an amazing father behaves, in my opinion. Right? You can't be out here beating on your kid, or I'm saying kid because I believe it was Tank in particular, right? And then feel like, oh, okay, everybody should just move on now because what there is a final order to a hearing that you did not show up to. It is going to take people some time. So him going live and trying to, connect with the people, trying to make it seem like he's not a villain, and then proceeding to then say, he had the worst ex-wife is like, what are you doing, sir? Give it a break. And then he makes some jokes about Ralph's situation with Tampa, because you all know Ralph went to Tampa and we did not know what Ralph went over there to do. But it's like, honey, you can say what you can about Tampa, but Ralph did not. Guess what? Ralph did not go over there and have a baby outside of wedlock. So you're worse, sir. Ralph has not dogged Drew the way you have dogged and continue to dog her, right? Because if you didn't, why would you openly, outrightly say something like that after everything that has happened? And this is why it's like one step forward, two steps backward. And it's so annoying because it's like there's no progression. There's always something constantly happening. It's like a cycle, it never ends. Tommy says, I genuinely believe he is disturbed. He's crazy. Yup, allegedly. Okay, because we're not psychologists and stuff. But yeah, he really behaves like someone who's mentally unhinged, mentally disturbed, because like he behaves to me like somebody who is fixated and cannot move on. Like, when you're obsessively fixated at something and you cannot let it go, regardless of the information that you get, you cannot let it go. Right? It's almost like you give a kid a toy and you buy another toy for the kid refuses to let that toy go. Whatever you do The kid refuses to let that toy go. That's how he acts. He acts like a kid who has refused to let this whole divorce, his marriage, and whatever, like, just go. Leave Melody alone. Exactly. Hotel truly believes deeply his warped lies of what took place in his marriage. His comments from last week in the Red Pill guys comment section told it all. Absolutely. And that's even one of the things that I was going to talk about as well. I completely agree. For those of you who don't know, Martell was in the comment section of some guy who was alleged to have done some crazy things like cheating, all that kind of stuff to somebody. And then so he decides to post like a little um caption and post on his socials. Martell is in the comment section. So if I read just quickly what the guy said is that I ain't gonna lie, I cheated. But what hurt me wasn't losing her, it was watching her lie to the world and paint me like a monster after everything I did for her. They will drag your name before they ever tell the truth about what really happened. So that's what the guy said, right? So the bottom line is the guy is basically trying to say, he cheated, yes, but trying to basically minimize it and say that the person he was with was trying to paint him like a monster after everything he did. Martell then responds in the comments, SMH, similar situation. I'm like, dude, are you okay? How is that a similar situation, sir? Like, what are you doing? How is that a similar situation? Then goes on to say we have to start calling these women out in the MF beginning before they can even build up the courage to lie to the world. I was too late on speaking my truth and the people spit me out, but F them. I'm like, dude, what truth? All the truth that you have given us has turned out to be lies, sir. You openly said she cheated. When you were asked about it, you couldn't back it up. You were giving us nonsense. You were giving us nonsense as a story, sir. So, what truth are you speaking on? Right? So, he's trying to make it seem like, yo, they have similar situations. I'm like, where? What similar situation, sir? Which just goes back to show that this man cannot take accountability for ish. He is never going to take accountability because how many years has it been? And we are still in this situation. This man still has not taken accountability for what he has done. And so it's so sad that he has conditioned himself to really believe in the lies that he's telling himself, whatever lies he done told himself, whatever it is that he has said is stuck in his head at this point. And it's so, so, so sad. Martell then, so I think the guy then says, I still can't believe this ish done got to this point, the way I treated this woman. And I'm like, you could have treated her as amazing as you thought you did. If you cheated on her, then he clearly did not do enough, sir. You do not have discipline. And she doesn't want a man like that. How about that, sir? And then Martell continues and says, bro, as men, we got to make sure it's the woman who is crazy and clingy over us, not the other way around. We already protect, pay for everything, and spoil their ass. For them to have us hooked and clingy to hell nah. Okay. Now, first of all, well, sounds like Martell is low-key admitting that he was clingy and he was a little crazy over Mel. Because, like I said, the melodies are still playing in the system because why do you keep talking about it? You will think that Melody was the one that had an outside child, the way he is moving. You will think that. But it's like, sir, you are the one. Nobody asked you to do that. You did that of your own free will and volition. That's what you did, sir. And let's not forget, Ariane already told us that she got pregnant for you before. And you guys she deleted it, right? So I don't understand how the whole thing is being made to seem like, oh, things were done to him. It's like, it's everybody's fault but your own. Until he sits down to take accountability for what he did, I don't think he is ever going to change. If y'all remember back to those compilation clips on Posted, and he told Melody he made Melody CEO of Holt and Holt, a retired Melody from being a teacher. Yes, I remember. And it's like when you hear Melody's side of the story, it's like, yo, what are you saying? It's like you have a high inflated sense of self. You over inflate your importance in people's lives. It's like, okay, CEO, but wasn't she doing a lot of things? Wasn't she doing majority of the things? You were talking about how she's working so much and stuff. She ended up being the one working a lot, right? So who are you to say, oh, you did, you made her this? Like, dude, please, if you made her a CEO, make yourself CEO of your own life. Make yourself better, sir. Otel could have started his lawn care business up again. He wouldn't, because he never wanted to do it long term, as he views that type of work as beneath him. Absolutely. And I'm sure he can make good money from that. I'm sure he can make good money from that. Because I just, yeah. I feel like this is the thing about feeling like work is beneath you. You should not be feeling like some work is beneath you, honey. Especially if that work can feed you, honey. Baby, the last thing you should be thinking is it is beneath you. Who cares? If you have to clean to get your money, if you have to do this to get your money. It's better than doing drugs. It's better than selling drugs. It's better than doing illegal activities. Get your money. So I never understand people who feel like they have to be embarrassed about what they are doing. It's like, yo, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, or like maybe OnlyFans. Well, that's just my own personal biases towards that. But as long as you're not doing those kind of things and you're earning an honest or honest living, like, what is the problem? Right? So yeah, he better go pick up that job and get his money. Get your money, sir. Who knows? You can build up the business, have contractors doing the work for you. You can, sorry guys, you can build up your business. Let me put it on. I guess sleep mode is not enough. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with people always calling me whilst I'm on live. It's like everyone knows what time I go live, but yet that's how you know these my friends don't be logging into my live videos. Because it's like, yo, keep calling me at the time when I'm on live. But anyway. But yeah, I just don't understand like when people feel like a particular job is beneath them. It's like, honey, go get your money. As long as it's not illegal activities or something where you have to do things that are morally corrupt, like work that is morally corrupt, that you go home and then be regretting it and feeling some type of way, then please get your life, get your work done. Not to mention Melody put it out there, you only had 5 customers. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm-mm. Martell is not a born leader. Mel was the boss in the marriage. That made him jealous. They were never equally yoked. He resented her for a natural leadership ability. Completely agree. I don't think you can see Martell and Mel on the same level and think that they are both equally yoked or wherever equally yoked. I know we didn't meet them at the start of their relationship, but the points that we met them, I never thought they were equally yoked. It always felt like the elevator didn't go all the way to the top with Martell compared to the way it was with Mel, right? With Mel, we're like, ooh, she's so smart, she's so driven, she's so this. And this is part of why she became the natural star that she is on the show, right? And even off the show. It just came through very, very clearly who she is. But Martell, is obvious that Martell Lane is not a born leader. He's not hardworking either, in my opinion. Because if you were hardworking, you would have found something to do. You'd have done something, you'd have stayed consistent with your Inest wine or whatever. You'd have done the suit line. You would have done things. I've not heard anything about that children's book in a while. These are the things that I feel like he could have done and actively poured himself into, but didn't. Instead, he's too busy wondering what Mel has going on. And it's like, who cares? Who cares what she has going on? But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.